I want to bring in Ambassador Dani Dayan. He is Consul General of Israel in New York, and he joins me now with more on the Iran nuclear deal. Welcome to you, Mr. Ambassador.
Thank you, Lynn. Great to be here again.
So let me start off by asking you about why it is that Prime Minister Netanyahu believes these documents warrant a shift in United States policy from the time that this Iranian nuclear agreement was entered into. Why does he believe whatever is in these documents is that strong?
Because it proves completely that the whole agreement is based on a pile of lies. And an agreement that is based on a pile of lies is doomed to collapse. The Iranians were due to come clean with their nuclear program. They refused to, not only they refused to admit, they denied vehemently that they have a nuclear program, and now we know they were lying. You know, in theater, they say that when there is a gun that is seen in the first act, it will inevitably shoot in the last act. Here is the same. A deal that starts with a blatant lie, like this deal started, is doomed to end also with a big lie, with Iran walking to a nuclear device.
What is your response to critics who argue that what we saw from the Prime Minister was not anything new, that in fact these are well-established, well-known facts?
They're simply untrue. You know, I'm not a police investigator, I never was. But think for a moment if you can make any comparison between a suspicion, you think that someone is guilty, but you have no proof, and suddenly you get a complete proof. It's the difference between a suspicion and a conviction. Now we know that what Iran said, we suspected that they were lying. We know for sure, without any doubt whatsoever, that they were lying.
So it's 55,000 printed pages, 100-some compact discs. Israeli intelligence is going through them. How long before their assessment is complete?
It will take a long time. Most of the material is in Farsi. It has to be translated. By the way, all the documents are also in American hands, in the CIA and other security agents of this country hands, who are working simultaneously and cooperatively. But it will take time until we get every single detail. But the picture is already very clear. The Iranians lied to the world. I would say that the Iranians sold to the world a Brooklyn Bridge, if to use a New York expression. They sold something that was completely a fallacy.
Iran's deputy foreign minister said that the prime minister's presentation was, quote, a prearranged show with the aim of impacting Trump's decision, or perhaps it is a coordinated plan by him and Trump in order to destroy the JCPOA. What is your response to that?
Well, the response to it is simply that when the facts are so clear, so they try to move to sway the debate to another issue. The facts are clear. They have to admit that to this very moment, they keep lying. They keep saying that they didn't have a nuclear program. So you understand what we are dealing with.
Was there coordination?
I don't think so, no. No. There was no coordination, but the president, obviously, and the Secretary of State knew that we are going to do that because we informed them ahead of time. Secretary Pompeo was in Israel one day earlier. There was a phone call between the Prime Minister and the President. We don't like to surprise the President, the Secretary of State, when it's not necessary.
Well, if the U.S. walks away from the nuclear deal, what are possible next steps to ensure that Iran does not obtain nuclear weapons?
Crippling sanctions. That's the key to everything. We have to restore crippling sanctions towards Iran in order to make them, to enforce them to abandon the nuclear ambitions they have. Look, what is happening now is that Iran is getting wealthy. By the billions of dollars they got, they were released during the deal, and now by selling oil freely to the entire world. They use that wealth in order to expand terrorism, in order to conquer Yemen, in order to colonize Syria, in order to threaten Israel from Lebanon. They are sending missiles to Riyadh, the capital of an ally of the United States, Saudi Arabia. And when we finish benefiting from the deal, then comes the sunset clause, the expiration of the agreement. They have preserved and expanded their know-how, and they will simply walk into a nuclear bomb.
Ambassador Dani Dayan, Ambassador, thank you so much for joining me.